What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? All right, so this is lesson 3-9. Let me pull me down here a little bit. All right, so we are modeling decimals using base 10 blocks. Okay, so before we begin, I just kind of want to show you with the base 10 blocks what each decimal and fraction is going to represent. All right, so as you can see right up here at the top left, we have a cube. Okay, and then we have the hundreds block over here. So one of these little cubes in the whole hundreds block, that will represent 1/100th of the piece. Okay, so one of these little blocks is one of these little guys right down here. All right, so that's 1/100th. So I would write it as that decimal, 0.01, and then 1/100th is what I would write for my fraction. Now, on the other hand, if we have these longs right here, one of these longs would represent 1/10 of the whole's block. Okay, so one whole block, 1/100th whole block. Okay, that would be 1/10. So my decimal would be 0.1, and then my fraction would be 1/10 of the whole. All right, so having that, we are going to look at this simple problem right here. All right, so I have these unit cubes. All right, so I have these unit cubes, and it won't be as simple as having longs and then having units. Okay, when I count these up, I first have to find out what my fraction and decimal are, and then color it inside my hundreds chart. All right, or my hundreds block. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to get my pen out. Okay, let's do blue. All right, so first off, I'm going to count how many pieces I have. Now, this is out of 100, okay, pieces. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I have 13 pieces out of a total of what? 100, right? Out of a total of 100. All right, now I've got to write my decimal. So we're dealing with hundredths. I don't have any whole, and I just write 13 because this is your tenths place, okay? And this is your hundredths place, okay? So I would write 13 just as 13 behind that decimal, all right? So now what I have to do is I have to color in 13 of these. Well, I know that one long is this right here, so I'm going to color in this whole thing right here, okay? So all of that, that's 10, and then I need 3 more. So 1, 2, 3. Now I've colored in 10 plus 3, which is 13 out of the total 100. All right, so you still might be asking yourself, well, how does that work, Mr. Collins? Okay, well, let me go back here, select tool. Let's go to your actual workbook page, okay? So with this workbook page, I'm going to get my pen back out, okay? And I want to go through with my hundreds chart to find my fraction and my decimal. So number one, it has a hundreds chart here. I keep calling it a hundreds chart. It's a hundreds blocks. And I have to count each individual cube if it's not a full long. All right, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8, okay, out of, it's not 10 pieces. If it was just 10 pieces, I would just have one long. All right, so it's out of 100 total pieces here. Okay, there's 100 total pieces, and I've only got 8 of them highlighted here. Now what I have to do is come up with a decimal. Now remember, we're dealing with hundredths, so I have to have blank dot blank blank because this is your hundredths place. So I don't have a full set, like a full hundreds chart. Then I have my decimal. I don't have anything in my tenths because I didn't go past 10. All right, this is only 8. I didn't go past 10, so that becomes a 0. And now I just put my 8 in the hundredth spot because it's 8 out of 100. All right, let's do number 2 together because I can show you exactly what I mean by this. So I have full sets of longs here. Okay, I have 1 full set, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 full sets of longs. What that means is I have a fraction here that's going to be 0.7, and in this case, something else, because I have 2 extra ones here. So I have, whoops, that is I was about to write a decimal there. Okay. So my fraction is going to be, how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 100. That's really 70 plus 2 more, which is 72 out of 100 total pieces, because each one of these represents 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 1, 2, 72. Now I have to write my decimal. Again, we're dealing with hundredths. So I have to write, I don't have any full sets, like this whole hundreds block is not filled in completely. So it's 0 holes. I do have tenths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths. And then how many of my ones pieces do I have? 2. Okay, so it's 72 100ths. All right. Now, I'm going to let you do number 3 by yourself, but we're going to scoot down to number 4 here. So I have 0.9. Before I do any coloring in this, I want to actually write my fraction. So my fraction is going to help me out a lot more. So I have 9 tenths. So I could write that as 9 over 10. Well, I'm going to show you how you can convert 9 tenths to hundredths. We've done it before. All right. So we've done 9 over 10 equals something over hundredths. It's just like taking a fraction and finding an equivalent fraction to go with it. Well, how do I get from 10 to 100? Well, I have to multiply by 10. 10 times 10 is 100. So whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 9 times 10 is 90. So I have to color in 90 of these little squares. That might take me a while, but now I have 9 tenths. Each one of these is worth 10, so I need to do 9 of those. So what I'm going to do is get my pencil. I'm going to take this. I'm going to group this. Whoops. Okay. Take this. I'm actually going to move that off to the side so I can color this in. All right. Come back to my pen. Color in 9 of them. Now, I'm just going to kind of go down straight like this. I don't mind if you do that as well. Your teacher might ask that you do something else. But this is just going to be the easiest thing that you can do. So I can know that you understand that each one of these is worth 10 pieces. Okay, and 9. All right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. Okay, 9 longs out of a possible 10. So 9 longs out of a possible 10. Or if I were to count each one of these individual ones, there would be 90 individual unit cubes out of a total 100. All right, let me show you number 5 because number 4 and number 5 look very similar. However, they represent different fractions and decimals. So I have 0.09 hundredths. So that's like saying I have 9 out of 100 pieces. I have 9 out of 100 pieces. So instead of doing 90, how many do I have to do out of the total 100? Only 9 of them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of the total 100 pieces. Now, a little tip that I'm going to teach you right now is in order to do these hundreds chart, okay, it might be easier for you to change your denominator from tenths to hundredths if you're given a decimal like this. Okay, it might be easier for you, it might not be easier. That's just a little tip that I have that it helps me to figure out the difference between this decimal and this decimal right here. All right, I'm going to let you do number 6 by yourself. Okay, and then finally, you're going to color part of each grid and write the decimal represented. Guess what? You get to color in this however you want to, and then you can write your decimals. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my own. Okay, so see, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to try to figure this out. Okay, I have 1 long, okay, and 5 individual cubes. Okay, so see if you can figure out what decimal that is before I actually do it. Okay. All right, so I have 1 long, so that's worth 10, right? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 out of a total, what? 100. So as I wrote my decimal, I don't have a whole, but I have 15 out of 100 pieces. Okay. I technically could write this at tenths, but we're not going to do that right now. All right. So do number 8 and 9, and then also do your math boxes on the next page, on page 92. Okay. Hopefully you guys understand this lesson. If not, just get with your teachers to kind of explain it a little more. All right. Bye, guys.